Good afternoon to those for whom it's afternoon, and welcome to the first webinar of the 2013 International Home and Housewares Show season. We're happy to have you with us today. We hope that this 45 minutes to an hour that we spend with you will be extremely productive for you. We think that we have some tools that will help you maximize your success at the show, and we would like very much to share those with you, and we'll get started right away. My name is Perry Reynolds with IHA, and I'm here with Debbie Teschke.
Hello, everyone.
And I will be covering part of the program, and Debbie will be covering the media part of the program. If you have any questions during any point in the webinar, you can submit them using your chat function, and we have somebody monitoring your questions, and they will break in at an appropriate time, and we'll be happy to answer them. So please feel free to pass them along as they occur to you. Our overall goal here today is to give you the tools that we think are the most appropriate tools to help you succeed at the show. Your goals are your own, and I'm sure you have, you've thought them through, thought about what you're trying to accomplish. I think most of the tools that we will present to you today will help you accomplish those goals, whether it's increasing sales, finding new customers. All of the items on the screen in front of you now, there is a tool that will address that, and as Debbie and I will tell you, the vast majority of them are at no charge to you. Please stick with us, and I think we'll get to each one of your goals as we go through the process. We encourage, and most trade show experts encourage that, and I know this sounds really basic, but we encourage you to make a plan before the show. That plan can be, I know you're all working very hard on logistics and making sure that you have all your move-in plans and your booths are all built, but really that just sets the stage. The most important part is getting the value out of the show, whether it's through meeting with buyers or whether it's meeting with media. We hope that those goals in that relation are specific, realistic, that you in fact use these resources. They are free to you, and it's always stunning to me how many people don't. We're encouraged by how many of you are on the call today, and we appreciate you being here, and that says good things for what's going to happen at the show. We also encourage you, based on feedback we've had from other exhibitors, to create a follow-up plan in advance, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the tools that we can help you with when you get to executing that follow-up plan. We're going to cover essentially three areas of the show, one that crosses over between buyers and media, or tracking buyers, Housewares Connect 365, which is a remarkable tool, and if you're not using it, I encourage you to, and if you are using it, I think you've seen the success. And then Debbie will cover how to use the show to reach the consumer, because we are very actively covered by the consumer news media, and Debbie will cover how you can maximize your exposure in the media. The most important tool that you have at your disposal was mailed to you in the last several weeks is the Exhibitor Marketing Kit. All of the opportunities that we're going to talk about today are covered in that kit, how to execute them. Each of them is covered there. The link that you see on your screen is the link to that kit. If you didn't get a copy of the kit, all of that information is there at housewares.org/marketing. And this will be your Bible, and as we go through, if you have your kit in front of you, I think you'll be able to follow along with us. There are very few things that we'll speak about today. There are a few, but there are very few things that we'll speak about today that aren't a part of the Exhibitor Marketing Opportunities material that you received 2 weeks ago. I would first like to start out by talking to you about how to attract buyers to your booth. I know it's we'll have 20,000, 21,000 buyers at the show. There are 2,000 exhibitors for them to come visit. It is extremely important for you to stand out in their mind, whether it's a plan that you make before the show, all the activities that you take on before the show, contacting those buyers, making appointments, making sure that Housewares Connect 365 works for you, what you do during the show, and we'll talk about some of the things that you can do during the show, and then, of course, as I mentioned before, show follow-up. So let's move right into what you can do before the show. I think one of the most, we're going to cover 3 items here. The buyer's list from the 2012 show, the innovation alert, and Housewares Connect 365. Each of them will have extreme value for you before the show. The buyer list is probably the best list of housewares buyers available anywhere, and as a paid exhibitor, it's available to you at no charge. It is an Excel list. It is divided into U.S. and international buyers. There are 2 separate lists. Debbie will also talk to you briefly about the media list, which is also available on our website to you as well. It is an Excel file, as I mentioned. It's sortable by retail channel. If you only want to focus on catalogs, you can sort down all the catalogs in the channel. If you only want to speak to independent owners of independent kitchenware stores, you can sort the list down that way. We ask each buyer at registration to tell us what products they come to the show to buy. So if you have a particular product niche, there are some 17 different product categories there for you to take a look at and sort down the list. Also, in the free text area, if the buyer offered us their title, that's also available to you. The only thing that's not available to you here is their email address, because they've told me that that's not something that they would like for us to share. But there are other ways to communicate with them. We'll talk to you about those farther down in the presentation. That link that's there in front of you is also in the marketing kit. If you have any problem finding or remembering that, this entire presentation will be posted on our website shortly after the presentation, so you can go back and review it, or send Deb or me an email, and we'd be happy to share with you anything that you think you might have missed or we've moved too fast through, or ask us a question now. The Innovation Alert is a function of products that are part of the new product showcases at the show, and we'll talk about those a little bit as a part of your on-site advertising opportunities. But one of the things that we do with all those products that are submitted by just before the show, 10 days roughly before the show, we send an email to every buyer in our database, not just the ones that are registered, but every buyer we know about, telling them what those new products are. And we send them a list of those products. We send them the name of the product. We send them the your company name, and we send them your booth number. No pictures of the product. I know there's a number of you that are probably nervous about sharing that in advance, but if you have the product name, that's enough of a tease. And those 40,000 buyers, of course, for us, we want the ones who haven't decided to come yet to be blown away by that list and register immediately and come to the show. But it is an opportunity for you as a part of your participation in the new product showcase to get your product name and booth number in front of 40,000 buyers around the world. The most dynamic tool that I think we have to offer you is Housewares Connect 365. As I mentioned earlier, some of you are using it already. Some of you have yet to use it or have yet to maximize it. The thing that astonishes us, and it will be in its 3rd full year this year as a tool at the show, is how quickly it has been accepted as a search tool by the buyer community who attend the show. We had over 1 million searches on Housewares Connect 365. To be exact, 1,070,000 searches were conducted by consumers, buyers, and news media. As Debbie will tell you, it's an opportunity to reach the media. We know that with 1 million searches, there's more than buyers in there searching, but we do direct buyers there on a regular basis. I will share with you that I met with several senior executives, including senior executives of Walmart on the show floor last year, who told us that this was a key tool in their show preparation and follow-up. So the opportunity to maximize your visibility on Housewares Connect 365, which, as you saw in the previous slide, is free to you, is an opportunity that I think you should embrace and spend some time working on, and we'll talk a little bit about how to do that. Now, one note in advance is that we noted that listings with catalogs and product images were viewed 75% more frequently than those without catalogs. I think that tells you that dressing your listing up will get you more attention from retailers. we pitch this to buyers and media as an opportunity to plan for the show, but also as a year-round resource tool for them to understand what's going on in the housewares industry. They can go on the site, and I'll show you a little bit later how some of that works visually. They can search for you. They can save the searches. They can create a custom floor plan in advance of the show. They can communicate with you prior to the show. They can access their saved searches and floor plan at the show via their mobile app, which many of them downloaded last year. And of course, as I mentioned, they have year-round access. They can search for you in a number of different ways. They can search for you by keyword, which is by far the most frequently used search device, and it is the default, as you'll see in a second. By your company name, by your show category, by your brands and licenses, by whether or not your product is made in USA, and I'll go into that in more depth in a minute, by whether or not you're offering show specials, by the state in which you operate. If they want to purchase goods locally, many retailers do. They can find you that way. Of course, by country, we have a separate listing for new exhibitors. We have a separate listing for the new product showcase, and Debbie will tell you in a minute about new products for the news media, which is not searchable by buyers and consumers, but only by media. And Debbie will cover that off in a minute. But it's another search capability just for media. I mentioned already that you can use this tool to increase your visibility. You can communicate directly with buyers and news media through your exhibitor message center, and we'll talk about what that looks like in just a second. You can add a company description. One of the things that I would recommend after viewing some of these company descriptions is that you develop your company description or any long piece of text, but in this case your company description, in Word or some other tool that has spell check and grammar check. Share it with the best proofreader in your place, because this will be your window to exhibitors or to buyers, and it helps to make certain that these things are said properly before they go in. You can copy and paste right into this tool. You can add catalog. You can add product images. You can add videos if they're on YouTube. They're framed in the site, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. And you can add your company logo. We also will ask you about adding in-booth appearance information. Buyers often search for celebrity chefs or other celebrities who are appearing at the show. This is an opportunity for you to make sure that they know when and where your celebrity is going to be in your booth. I mentioned that Made in USA and show special alerts are added to the site this year, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And of course, you also are able to add press releases. You can add any kind of PDFs of any kind of information you'd like to add, like it's your 100th anniversary, you have partnered with another organization, or you've just recently got a new brand or a license that you'd like to promote. This is an opportunity for you to make certain that that the audience here has access to that information. This is the link that you will go to update your information. It is the same link that you go to update the show directory. These actually are parallel processes. One lays right over the top of the other. Some of the information that you use for Housewares Connect 365 is used to create that directory. One note, just a little off script here, but we hear this often, and I would encourage you to at least be aware of this. There are a number of organizations floating around the world today that offer you a listing in their directory. They are not us. They are not Housewares Connect 365. They ask you to sign a contract. I would be very scrupulous in looking at the details of that contract to make certain it's exactly what you wish to do. You're not asked to sign a contract with us. We are free. We are the only listing distributed at the show. So just be careful of with whom you partner, and make sure that where you partner is also is somebody you wish to partner with, that they will help you achieve your goals. Otherwise, I think Housewares Connect 365 at no charge is probably your best option. One other thing that's just recently come up, just in the last couple of days, we also encourage you, this is again off the script here, just a touch, but we also encourage you to work with our housing provider, because we've just recently come across organizations that are scamming attendees, and I think it would behoove you to at least, if you're booking hotel rooms, to use our provider, or at least know the provider that you're using. But I think you'll get the best rates through us. Now back on script again. This is the page you'll go to when you click on that link. And I know it's very difficult to see on your screen, or it might be difficult to see on your screen. But this is a very simple way to walk you through this process. And it literally works like that tax software that you've used in the past. It moves you to the next step as soon as you're done with this step. If there are things you don't want to do, you can go right by that step. In order to get into this space, you need to have your company ID and your seniority number as your username and password. We also ask the person who's making these changes to put their name here so that we can track who's made those changes, that we know that it's, that if somebody calls us and says, now who changed that, we'll at least have a record back to that. As you look down the left-hand side of the screen, it takes you through company address, contacts, brands and licenses, products, company description. That's the place where I suggest that you pre-test the text that you use and then drop it right in there. You can add product images. You can reorder those product images in any order you'd like. If you have product images up there now and you'd like to put new ones in front of them, you can do that. Also the same with catalogs. They're a drag and drop process. Very easy to insert. Of course, your company logo is there. I mentioned company news, the PDFs of press releases and so forth. Company video, again, you can move videos around. I'll show you in a second what that looks like on the screen. You can mention your in-booth appearances. Your show sales manager can help you with duplicate directory listings. If you have more than one brand, you may want to enter a separate listing. And then, of course, you can sign off when we say thank you for doing it. At the very top of the screen, you see something called Message Center. This is your opportunity. I mentioned earlier that the buyer list does not have emails. This is your opportunity to communicate with the buying community through Housewares Connect 365. You will be permitted 3 emails before the show and 1 email after the show that you can send to the buyer's Housewares Connect 365 mailbox. It does not go to their mailbox. It goes to the Housewares Connect 365 mailbox. We alert them when they have messages in their box and ask them to go read them. No guarantee that that's going to happen, but certainly it's a great opportunity for you to communicate with those buyers in advance of the show and then after the show. The Message Center will take you through a prompting process. It allows you to select certain buyer categories and certain product categories so that you can narrow your search or narrow your email based on the kind of people that you want to meet directly. It will not allow you to blanket email everyone in the list, but it is broad enough to allow you to reach those buyers you wish to reach. If you have 15 categories that you want to reach, and we only allow you 5 at a time, you do have 3 emails in which to reach all of them. Buyers can also communicate directly with you through the Message Center, so I encourage you to check the Message Center on a regular basis to make certain that you are responding on a prompt way to buyers. You also, of course, have your own ways of responding to buyers. And there may be some buyers that you don't want to respond to who come in there, but you certainly need to know that they're trying to reach you. So that is how you update your listing. I'd like to give you a brief view of what Housewares Connect 365 looks like to the buyers. This is the landing screen for Housewares Connect 365. Comes straight off. Yes.
We have a question here.
Oh, please.
Does my competitor have access to my Housewares Connect 365?
Housewares Connect 365 is an open platform. It is available to everyone who visits the site. And as a consequence, your competitors do have access to it. So I would manage your listing process accordingly. Any other questions, Deb?
Yes, I'm trying to decipher. It's kind of in a phrase. Incorrect company ID, seniority number combination, or company is not eligible to fill out the exhibitor directory update at this time. There must be an error message.
I would encourage anyone who has a challenge with this screen to contact your sales manager immediately, and they'll be happy to help walk you through this. If they're not available, I'd be happy to do the same. But I think your sales manager would be your first best tool there. If for some reason you have a mismatched code, they'd be happy to work through that with you.
Okay. It seems to be an error that they're getting when they log in.
Yeah, I would encourage whoever asked that question to contact your show sales manager, and they'll be happy. They'll be able to resolve that very quickly for you.
Thank you, Perry. That's all at this time.
Okay, thank you. This is the screen. This is the screen that the buyer sees, as I mentioned. All of those criteria or search criteria that I showed you earlier are available in the drop-down through keyword there. But right now, and as I said, this is the default search. So a buyer can search here, and let's say that the buyer searched for Joseph. They were looking for a kitchen tool company specifically. This is the beginning of what was returned to them, and it actually returns every listing that lists the word Joseph in it. So there is an opportunity to have to go through and do a little digging. But as you can see by the screen that's returned here, a number of these companies, 4 of the 5 companies present, have product photos on the site already, and one of them, Joseph, as you can see by the little video camera, has video on their site as well. The buyer can, either from this screen or from the specific screen of the exhibitor, can click that plus on the right-hand side, and I'll show you what that gives them when they get done in just a second. But let's say we click on Joseph. We go to their site. This is what Joseph's site, the top of the page looks like. As you can see, it features their videos. You can see the product photos there. Those are all. So you can play videos right through the site. In addition, if you see the bars at the top, you can click on More Company Info, and that's what More Company Info looks like. That was Joseph's story. You would have a similar story. There is a word limit, but it's pretty high on this. I would encourage you to make sure that in your company description that you have listed all of the things that are important to your company by which you believe you might be searched, because it is important that you have a presence on the site. And but I would also encourage you not to repeat, because it doesn't give you any search priority. It's all returned alpha. But please make certain that you've addressed all your brands, all your licenses, all of your product names if they're new product introductions that you might be searched by. I mentioned the plus. Let's say that a buyer clicked the plus sign and added Joseph to his briefcase or her briefcase. What would happen next is they would go to a screen that looks like this. I know this is an eye test, but if you look on the right-hand side, there's a black dot, and there was a number 1 in it, and that is Joseph's location. The buyer can continue to add those, the people that they want to see, and fill out that map. As I mentioned earlier, they can see this map at show site, either on the product locator screens on show site or on the app that they've got, and they can access this themselves on show site. There will also be a corresponding list of all the companies and their booth numbers with the number attached to it, so they will have the opportunity to go find you on site. So this is the tool that the buyers are using that created the vast majority of those 1,070,000 searches last year. Now, changing gears, during the show, you can get tremendous amount of additional exposure at the show. We do take a very limited number of sponsorships. As you know, we're a not-for-profit organization. Our goal is to make certain that we feature everyone equitably, that no one has an advantage, that there aren't any giant banners hanging in the common areas. I know you've been to shows that do that. We elect not to do that. But if the sponsorship assists buyers or makes their show more convenient, more comfortable, we are happy to accept those sponsorships, and they have been well used. You can do a sponsorship in the Buyers Clubs. It helps us offset the cost for the food and beverage we serve to the buyers in the Buyers Club. The buyer lunch areas, you may be aware that we offer every buyer who comes to the show a free lunch on all 4 show days. And this also helps us offset that cost. As you can imagine, that's quite expensive. The International Business Center is a great place if you're looking for international attendee exposure. It's a great place to put your message in front of buyers, because they do use that business center for translators, for meetings. So that's another opportunity. But again, it gives us the opportunity to be able to support the International Business Center and the other areas I talked about. So those are some of the sponsorships, and they're mentioned in your marketing kit. With each of the things that I talked about, your marketing kit is the best source for you to understand how to fulfill these. If that fails you, you can't find it, you don't have a marketing kit, contact Debbie or me. Our emails will come back up again at the end of the presentation. Our phone numbers as well. We're happy to talk to you about any question that you have or help you through any process. Back to the new product showcase. I mentioned before the innovation alert that goes out before the show as being a part of the new product showcase. This is one of the very few items that we charge for at the show. But I think you'll see when we go through the value that it adds, I think you'll find that it adds significant value. The new product showcases are located inside the Buyers Club. So unlike Housewares Connect 365, your competitors cannot see your product. Only buyers and news media are allowed in there. You're not allowed in there. So it's an opportunity for you to have your product in front of buyers, but not in front of your competitors. Each item in the showcase is scannable. We offer buyers scanners when they walk in the showcases. They're allowed to scan as many items as they like. They bring the scanner back to us. We dock the scanner. It's very much like a registry process. We dock the scanner. They get a list that they take with them in booth number order of all the exhibitors whose products they've scanned. Makes it easy for them to find you. At the conclusion of the show, they get an email reminding them of all of the products they scanned in the new product showcase, so that there's one more chance for them to be reminded about your product. But even beyond that, you get an email that has the names of all of the buyers who scanned your product in the new product showcase. So to that point, this is already a great value.
Perry?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
We have 3 companies. Do we have the opportunity to list all 3 in Connect 365?
You do, and I would suggest you work with your sales manager to facilitate that.
We have
They'll help you through that process.
We have another question. Can they still be featured in the new product showcase and the innovation awards?
I'm not. Any exhibitor's product can be in the new product showcase, with one small exception, or the innovation, and as a consequence, the innovation awards.
And we have a question. On average, how many new product showcases are there for buyers to walk by? I think she meant products.
There's two levels to that. There's a new product showcase for each building. There's a buyer's club in each building. The products for exhibitors in that building are all showcased in that product showcase, so buyers don't have to run between buildings to find products that are appropriate to them. If their category is electrics, they can find all of those products in one location. And between 300 and 400 products are submitted generally for the showcases. To answer that question, it breaks down slightly unevenly by building, but that's roughly the total number of products that we expect to be submitted. Each entry in the new product showcase, with the exception, sadly, of the Discover Design category, which has another award recognition process, is eligible for the IHA Innovation Awards. And the IHA Innovation Awards debuted last year. Again, it's $300 per product entry. This is what the new product showcase looks like. These are very eager buyers, excited to find this espresso machine, and I know they're running off to that booth immediately to go buy that product. The IHA Innovation Awards, which flow directly from the new product showcase, are broken down into 13 categories. The categories are listed in your marketing kit. New for 2013, if you have pet products, we did not have a category for pet products last year. We are selecting winners in the pet product category this year, and that was actually by request of the retail community. We use a professional judging panel. It is retailers and designers, and they judge products in advance of the show. We named 5 finalists before the show opens. Each of those finalists will have an opportunity to promote their finalist product in their booth and before the show. And then at the show, the judges make their final decisions among those 5 on Friday before the show, and on Saturday afternoon in the Innovation Theater, we announce the winners of each of the 13 categories. And then, following that announcement, we move directly from the Innovation Theater into the Hall of Global Innovation, where the Innovation Awards display sits, and we will unveil that display, and you're welcome to join us for a glass of champagne.
Perry?
Host those winners, yeah.
If we entered our products in the Innovation Awards and already paid $275 per product, will we be in the new product showcase? Is this the case where we pay an extra $25 fee, separate fee?
Actually, I'm guessing, just guessing, that the questioner is confusing the Innovation Awards with the Housewares Design Awards, which is run by Homeworld Business, who just announced their winners. This is that awards program looks at products already in the market. This program is intended to showcase products that are new at the show. So it's an entirely different process than before. If there's a follow-up question, I'd be happy to answer it if I haven't been clear.
No, after I answered it, she was retracting her question. So thank you, Perry.
Okay, good. As I mentioned, the winning products will be displayed in the Hall of Global Innovation. And they'll be displayed for the entire show, so you can go take a look at the products that the judges felt were best in show. In addition to the winners being displayed and the runners-up being mentioned in that display, the finalists are also segregated in the new product showcase with special recognition for their finalist status in the new product showcases as well. So it's essentially a double recognition for the final 5 products as well. These are some happy winners from last year, and as you can see, it's that's the award both on the stand and in the inset. You need a couple people to carry it. It's a very heavy acrylic award, something you'll be proud to put in your showcase in your office, in your home office, and we hope that you are one of the finalists or winners. We have some other opportunities for you to promote yourself during the show. If you are following along in your paper marketing kit, these are mentioned on the inside of the fly arm on the right-hand side. The Going Green display has now been with us for several years. It continues to be, sustainability continues to be an item of importance. And actually, as we move back out of some challenging times and into somewhat, we hope, less challenging times, sustainability becomes an issue again. We have done our best to educate the industry on what sustainability means. We work with experts in this display who can counsel both retailers and suppliers on what is sustainable and how to be sustainable. There are experts there to whom you can ask questions, but we also show exhibitors' products there. And in this display, we ask you to submit your product. We use a panel of experts. Those experts are sustainable retailers and sustainable people with sustainable expertise, and we ask them to sort through what's submitted. And in the display, as you can see, this is a beautiful display, museum-style display. Those products are displayed. You notice next to each product is a company name, product name, and a booth number. I talked to a half a dozen exhibitors who told me that they had been immediately inundated by people who saw their product in this display. This display is actually in the Hall of Global Innovation, which is in the lobby of the Lakeside Center building. But products from all over the show are here. And the people that I talked to were in the North building, which is about as far as you can walk from this, who are getting bounce backs from buyers who saw their product here. So I think if you have a sustainable product, this is an opportunity for you, and I think I mentioned that this is free to you as an exhibitor. No charge for this. We simply want to make certain that the industry knows what the industry is doing to create sustainable products.
Perry?
Yes.
We have some more questions regarding the new product showcases.
Sure.
If your new product comes in multiple styles, can you show 2 or 3 styles in the showcase or just one style?
We prefer that you show just one style. We have had people that we have been able to, if there were other colors, put a talking card next to the product. But space is extremely limited in those showcases. And in fact, last year we were at bursting point. So we prefer that you show one product, and we will do what we can to make certain that the buyer understands that you have multiple iterations of it if you can provide us with some additional materials.
And the fee again to submit?
$300 per product.
And what should be included with the product submission?
If you go to the marketing kit, it will take you on a link to the website, and it will walk you through the entire process. Very simple to do. We'll ask you for a description of the product, and so that the judges know what you feel is innovative about it. But it's a very simple process. Even I can do it. So if you go to the site, I think you'll find that answered. If you have a problem with it, please contact me or your show sales manager, or Connie Shantos, whose email is mentioned on that site. We'd be happy to help you with the submission process.
I think the last question for new product displays is there going to be power available for them?
There's not power available in those showcases.
Okay.
If it is absolutely essential to the display of the product, we might consider, but as you know, electricity costs extra, and there may be an extra charge incurred if we do that. Any other questions, Deb?
How does a company get qualified as a green product?
You will submit your product or a description of your product and a photo of your product to our green experts, and those green experts are the ones that we rely on to tell us which products should be in this display.
And where can they download the form to submit this?
It is all on housewares.org/marketing, and you will find a link through there to virtually every one of the items we're talking about today.
Thanks, Perry.
Okay.
Wait, hang on. We got another question about green products.
Sure.
Qualifications, what do the judges look for?
They will evaluate your claims for sustainability. We have experts in packaging, in materials, in manufacturing. So depending on what your sustainability attribute is for the product, we'll select a judge who is schooled in that attribute.
Okay, that's it at this time.
Okay. A couple more during the show opportunities for you. We have partnered with Pantone now, I believe, for Debbie and I are trying to figure this out, 12 or 13 years. Pantone, as you know, is one of the leading color provider and forecaster globally. They have been kind enough for many years to share with us their forecast of a palette that goes out to the next year from the show. Just this week, the link went live to Pantone's palette. If you go to the marketing kit again on our website, you'll find the link to Pantone's palette for 2014, which will represent the products that we have for the 2013 show. If you're an overachiever and already have products that match that color palette, we would be happy to have you submit them, and the way to submit them is carefully outlined in the marketing kit and on the website. Again, as you can see from these happy exhibitors who had their product in the Pantone showcases last year, there is a company name, product name, and booth number on the sign. Gives the buyers an opportunity to come find you if they found your product here. Again, no charge to you. Pantone feels strongly about participating in the show. I didn't mention that I believe there are 7 or 8 palettes that they use. So the chances of you, Debbie says 9, she knows better than I. The chances of you matching one of those palettes is probably pretty strong. So it's a great opportunity for you to take a look, see if you can get some extra participation. Here, Pantone makes the decision, not us. So we apologize in advance if Pantone didn't pick your product, but the instructions for sending in the information about your product are at housewares.org/marketing.
Perry?
Yes?
What does using the Pantone color palette do for us?
Well, there are a couple things. One of them is that it gives you an early view of what Pantone's forecasting going forward. So this is an opportunity for you as an exhibitor to get free advice from Pantone on where they see the color palettes going over the next 18 months. So that is an advantage. The second advantage, of course, is if your product is picked by Pantone and you have a product that matches the palette and it's picked, you get a free display in the Pantone Color Watch display in the Lakeside Center lobby in the Hall of Global Innovation. So there are multiple layers of benefit there, I believe.
Okay, and somebody says it's not clear what the 2014 colors are. I'm not
Well,
sure what...
Pantone forecasts a year and a half out. So their forecast now is for where they see color arriving in 2014.
Okay.
The kinds of things that they think will be strong. They've worked that far out because, of course, they work with manufacturers who are working on long lead times, and they want to make certain that their colors are color right or color appropriate for the time those products finally come to market. So the 2014 palette is actually their forecast for what's coming. But as I mentioned earlier, if any of your exhibitors are overachievers and have a product that already matches that palette, this is a great opportunity for you to get free exposure at the show.
It seems like some people are finding it difficulty to find the colors on our website.
My understanding is that the link went live Tuesday or Wednesday.
And it's on the Color Watch page in the Exhibitor Marketing Kit online. So if you go to housewares.org/marketing and then click on the link that says Pantone Color Watch, that'll take you to a page with the information and the link to the palette, which is on Pantone's website, not ours.
Okay. All right. Looks like that answered a bunch of questions. So thank you.
Thanks, Debbie.
It says that the link is not active. Somebody just tried.
Okay, we will make sure that gets fixed because we know it was live. We'll have it fixed immediately after the webinar.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. On to some other opportunities to promote or get yourself recognized at the show. As many of you know, we have a significant attendance by independent kitchenware stores or specialty retailers at the show. They have adopted the International Home and Housewares Show as their primary show. Many of you who do business with them understand that the two primary buyer groups have major meetings at our show. Those folks are at the show in great numbers, but not all of them know who's friendly to them or who to approach inside your booth. This little program, which is also in the marketing kit, is an opportunity for you to tell us that you'd like to reach out to specialty retailers. It's a free program. It's really more of a matchmaking kind of a program. You get, if you do it by the deadline that's mentioned in the marketing materials, you'll get an icon in the show directory. You will also get a mention in Housewares Connect 365. You also will get you'll be eligible to get signs that say "Welcome Specialty Retailers" and a very nifty button that your specialty retailer specialist in the booth can wear, so that the buyers know, that those retailers know exactly who to go to in the booth to find out what the deals are. Because some of you deal across multiple channels, and not every salesperson in your booth is the person focused on those. So it really helps. I know it sounds dumb, but we get great feedback from the independent retailers on this because they find it to be very helpful. If you sign up for this, you don't have to tell us anything about the deals you have for them, just that you are equipped to do business with them. And we will deliver the day before the show. We will deliver specialty retailers, those specialty retailer signs and buttons to your booth. One thing that's really not mentioned here, but just has come up recently in a big way, and I thought it was worth just a little sidestep to talk about it. Order writing is on the grow at the show. Not every channel, not every kind of retailer, but I visited a couple of retailers over the last month or so who told me that they were surprised that they went into booths and wanted to write orders, and those people weren't ready to write orders. We went back to our research and were surprised to find that 50% of exhibitors who answered the survey after the show in 2012 reported they were writing orders with specialty retailers at the show. So just a word of warning, be prepared. It will come up again in another context in just a second, but be prepared, because you may have buyers walking in your booth who actually want to write orders.
Hey, Perry?
Yes.
Who are specialty retailers, and are they more independent chains rather than mass merchants?
Yes, they're decidedly independent. Some of you know that we have a tremendous number of gift stores, of kitchen stores. Museum stores are starting to come to the show, higher-end gift stores. Those are the kinds of folks we're talking about. They will self-select by coming in your booth, but if you want to do business in any of those channels where it's owner-operated store, I think this would be a great opportunity for you to reach those people.
Thank you. Oh, wait, there's another question.
Okay.
Oh, somebody is jumping ahead a little bit, wants to know, are we going to be talking about ISA University?
We will not be talking about that, but I'd be happy if they'd email me after the event. I'd be happy to discuss that with them.
Thank you, Perry.
Mm-hmm. Another opportunity for you at the show to get information or make yourself more productive at the show is the Buyer Connect lead retrieval device. Some of you have used the desktop model in the past. It is free to you for the first 700 or 800 exhibitors who sign up for it. This year we're also offering the handheld device because we got some feedback that some exhibitors, for some exhibitors, the desktop model was not functional. So the first handheld or desktop model is no charge to you. This is a way to get buyer and media email addresses. We do not, as I mentioned before, do not share email addresses as a part of the buyer or media list, but this, we presume this to be a business card exchange. And this, in a business card exchange, the email travels. This is buyer giving you permission to scan their badge. So you will get their email addresses. 34,000 booth visits were recorded at the last show. We think with the handheld unit, that will actually go up for 2013. Another piece of this that I think is important, just like the scans in the new product showcase. All scans in your booth of bleed retrieval will result in an email to you after the show reminding you of all those people you scanned, and an email to buyers reminding them of all the booths in which they were scanned. So it's another chance for you and the buyer to initiate post-show communications.
And if you do scan a news media badge, the media person will come up on that list as well, so that will help you keep track of who came to your booth and who you saw, and you can follow up with them afterwards. We do include the email addresses for the media on the media registration list if they've given us permission to publicize that.
Thanks, Deb. A couple more things. I'm almost done. Deb's anxious to get going. New for the home signs, another sort of matchmaking opportunity. We offer you free signs that say new for the home. We tell buyers to look for these signs in booths. They'll be adjacent to new products. They're free to you. We've found them as far away as the Canton Fair in booths, so we know they work. If you like those, there's an opportunity to sign up for them. Those will also be delivered to you the day before the show. When we're going through Housewares Connect 365, I mentioned Made in USA and show specials. Both of them are buyer-requested items. They requested we add them to their ability to search at and before the show. Made in USA, if you go through your Housewares Connect 365 process, you will have an opportunity to certify that your products are made in USA. You will then get an icon in the directory, on Housewares Connect 365. And we'll also offer you a sign for your booth that says that you've certified that you have Made in USA products. And you'll also be searchable in that search that I showed you on Housewares Connect 365. So that's an opportunity. Many buyers, we were inundated with it last year. It's not just U.S. buyers, it's global buyers as well who are looking for Made in USA products. So if you have that product, please make sure you point that out.
And Perry, I just want to add, it's not just buyers who are looking for Made in the USA products. That is one of the topics that we are asked by the media over the years. They'd like to know who has Made in the USA. That's becoming a more prominent story every year. So if you sign up for this and if you put that in your Housewares Connect 365 listing, that will come up when we ask them to search the database for that information. And you may get an editor coming to talk to you about, making your products here in the U.S.
Last, I've mentioned this already, is show specials. You have an opportunity as you go through the process in Housewares Connect 365 to tell us that you have show specials. We don't want to know what they are. We don't want you to share that with anybody, but it will alert the buyers if there are in fact specials in your booth, and it will give them an added incentive to come to the booth.
Perry?
Yes.
I'm an independently owned supplier, direct importer. I do not offer innovative products or green type items, but extreme value housewares items, pet supplies, and plastics,
right,
which is a huge growing category at promotional retail pricing. How do I get my name out there in front of buyers besides my show guide entry?
Well, I would encourage this person, I would encourage you to make sure you mention that fact in your company profile. That would be important to you, to talk about the way that you go to market. You also have access to the buyer list, and you can sort out all the buyers who said they were looking for pet or any other category that you are looking for, and you can target the ones directly in advance of the show. One of my favorites is I have an exhibitor friend who tells me that he sends personalized handwritten postcards to all the people he wants to talk to. Wow. And he says, we got great values in our booth and we're fun to work with. And he sends them a personal note before the show. Another opportunity to do that. You also may be able to get that message across in the new product showcase depending on how you package your product. And I'd be happy to talk to you about that if that's an issue.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got you have one.
Okay.
I know you got
moving on to the, anything else? Moving on to the follow-up plan. Again, at the conclusion of the show, you will get the 2013 buyer list. That is, every buyer that registers for the show, you need a while to make sure it's formatted correctly, sorted. I put mid-April on here. It's likely to be a little earlier than that, but just in case something blows up, I don't want to promise you too early. But you will have a list that will allow you to find the people that came to the show that didn't come to your booth and connect with them. You can use it along with your Buyer Connect and your new product showcase information to make sure that you've touched all the people that seem to have been interested in you or didn't get to you. So, Debbie, you're on. Sorry to take so long, but we have a lot of people asking questions today.
Well, I want to take a few moments now to talk about how you can reach the consumer through the news media. And as you can see, the show generated 300 million consumer impressions in the news media. And that is primarily consumer media. We do include some trade in there as well. But a consumer impression is just the total Nielsen viewer number from the TV and radio broadcasts plus the circulation of newspaper and magazine clips and any Internet articles that we get that have covered the show. Then we just add them up and to get the number of consumer impressions. Now, that's a lot of people, a lot of eyeballs seeing information about the show, and so I'm hoping that you'll take advantage of some of the services I'm going to talk about so you can be part of that next year. If you work with an ad agency or a PR agency, they may multiply the number to consider any kind of pass-along copies of magazines or newspapers, but ours is a pure number without any manipulation. So if that's the route that you take, but with a multiplier, that's an even greater and more impressive number. Now you say, Deb, do you do that yourself? Do you talk to all those media alone? No, I have a team of freelance PR people who will pitch the show to the consumer media to get them to cover it and to attend and cover the show. Some of you, if you've been in the show for a while, you may have been in touch with them, or they may have been in touch with you. You're familiar with them. The team has been with me for a long time, and they're very well versed in housewares and the exhibitors and the products and the media, and they do a great job in helping us get that 300 million consumer number. As you can see, we say the average media hit was over 409,000 impressions with an ad purchase value of over $13,000 per hit. Now that's if you were to pay for advertising. Everything we do that we consider news media coverage is free. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to be part of this number next year, and you'll be able to benefit from this. Now, in reaching the consumer, we're going to talk about services as with the buyers for before the show, during the show, and after the show. And some of them include the media list, a preview press events that we do in New York, the new product information for the news media, the special events product demonstrations, and a traveling media tour. Now, these services, while they may benefit you during the show, you're going to have to take advantage of them before the show and do a little bit of work before the show. First off, I want to talk about our show preview media event. It's January 16th in New York City, and this is a great way to jumpstart your PR efforts. It's limited to 65 companies. Now, the show has over 2,100, so obviously if you're one of 65 people meeting with the media, you're going to have a much better opportunity and to get some exposure from them. It's much more concentrated. It's a lovely little intimate event, and the media love it. And you'll be able to meet with 50 to 60 consumer and trade editors. Now, not everyone may stop by your table, but I think most exhibitors do talk with at least about 20 people during the event. As of the time that we started this press event this webinar, I only had 15 tables left. If you've gone to the website, you've seen the deadline is December 20th. I definitely should be selling out this event before that. So if you are interested in participating in the press event, I would encourage you to sign up either this week or next week, because I really think we might be sold out by this time next week. And the event is 4 hours from noon to 4 p.m. And the cost is very, very minimal. For as low as $900, you can be meeting with these editors. Now, if you were to schedule appointments with 20 editors in New York, you'd have to spend a couple of days there, and it would cost you much, much more money in terms of expenses. As an added benefit for exhibitors in the event, we do a brief demonstration video, and that we will film at the event. It's 1 to 2 minute video where you talk about your products, and then we'll post it on our YouTube channel, and then send our buyers, that 40,000 buyer list that Perry mentioned earlier, we'll send an email to them saying that, you know, we held this event, and here's some new products that you might be interested in seeing before the show, and then we will link them to the videos and to a page on the website with all of your information. And then you can also take that video and link it to your Housewares Connect 365 listing as well. So there is the link if you want for the entry for the press event, or you can get it from our homepage on housewares.org. Now, the show media list is that we have posted up there from 2012 has about 350 media who registered for the show last year, and it includes both U.S. and international names, and we give you their address, phone, and email address if they gave us permission to use it. And
hey, Deb?
Yes.
What are the hours of the press event?
The press event is from noon to 4 p.m. And we usually, you know, it's usually busy, you know, between noon and 3, and starts to wrap up a little bit about around 3:30. So it's a nice little time frame. You're not spending days in New York.
And are the media typically the same media that were at the last show?
At the show, no. Actually, a lot of media in New York, because of, you know, the economy over the years, some editors haven't been able to come out to the show in Chicago. So they do come. They love to see this event in New York, and they do get to come and see the exhibitors and the new products. A lot of the same media that come to the show do come to, you know, will come to the event as well. But you will see some people that you may not see at the show.
Thanks, Deb.
Okay. About the media list, again, you can download it from the website. You would use the same passwords as Perry mentioned for downloading the buyer list, because they are contained on the same page, and there is the same login page that you use to get to it. And best of all, this is a free list. You know, some other shows that you may participate in may not give you the media list at all, but we do give it to you, and we give it to you for free. In mid-February, we'll have the list of the pre-registered media for the 2013 show. I kind of wait until we close it off for media registration, and that'll give you a couple of weeks to see who's going to be there, and then you can start contacting them about coming to visit you. Another service that we offer is the Traveling Media Tour. Now, this is one of the very few programs that you have to pay for. It's not free. And the Traveling Media Tour will help you promote your products to the consumers. It goes in studio to about 10 to 15 cities across the country. We go on their news programs, and it looks just like a news segment with a reporter explaining the products. Probably you may have seen something similar to it, like if you watch the morning network programs, or if on your local news programs you see somebody come in and say, hey, here's some great new products for Christmas that we want to tell you about. And it's probably a tour of similar, of something similar. And the reporter will talk with our spokesperson about the products. It's limited to 6 to 8 products, and you will have category exclusivity. So it's not like we'll have, your competitor would be in there. If you sign up for the tour, you are exclusive to your category. It's run by a third-party vendor for us, and her information is in the marketing kit, her email and her phone number, which we also have on the screen. And so you can contact her, and she can give you the pricing information. Now, this is the only tour that IHA officially sanctions. You may be solicited by other media companies saying that they're doing the official Housewares tour, or they're going to do a Housewares satellite media tour during the show. They are not sanctioned or sponsored by us. So if you do get questions or solicitations from other companies, please, and you have a question about them, please give me a call, and I'd be happy to let you know if they've even contacted me to say they want to do this tour. But our Traveling Media Tour with Newsmark is the only official Housewares tour. Now I want to talk about the new product information for news media.
Before you go on?
Yes.
When we viewed the media list, it only showed approximately 30 media. I understood you to say there were 300 last year.
I don't know what list you're looking at, but yeah, there are about 350 media, 350 to 400 media listed on that Excel file from that's listed with the buyer list. You may be looking at a not even a pre-registration list from one of the press events.
We will double check when we leave the room and make sure that the proper one is.
Yeah, I mean, I've checked. The list is up there. They can send me an email and let me know what list you have. Send me an attachment of the list, and I'll make sure that you have the right list.
I think they're mixing up the press event versus the show.
Oh, the press could be, because that is a smaller list. That's usually somewhere between maybe 40 and 50 names.
Okay. If the media at the press event in New York in September, will it be the same media at the January event?
A lot of the same editors will be there, yes. But then we will have some new editors who couldn't make the event in September for vacation or whatever reason they couldn't make that event, and then but they will be there in January. We usually get a larger turnout in January.
And what is the cost of the tour?
That I'm not quite sure of. You would have to contact Gigi at Newsmark because she has the pricing.
Okay, that's all we have at the time.
Okay. Now, you say, Deb, I've looked through all your services. You offer a lot of programs, and we just don't have the time or the resources to take advantage of everything that you do. I would encourage you to take advantage of this one tool because it's free. And it gets you a lot of exposure with the news media. You can enter your product listings through your Housewares Connect 365 listing or through the page in the marketing kit, and it will be seen by the news media beginning February 1st. You upload photos. You put in your the product name, a brief description of the product, and a photo. There is no limit because this is free. Now, over the years, we've had some companies who they may put 1 or 2 products in the new product showcase, and then they would send me 10 products for the new product information for the news media. And the media will be searching for these listings through their briefcases. And as Perry mentioned earlier, the media is the only category that can search for these listings. The buyers can't look for them. The consumers can't look for them. Other exhibitors can't look for them. Only the news media. And I approve the news media briefcases, so you can be assured that only a media person and not a salesperson would be able to search for these. My show PR team also reviews these listings to find products for the pre-show pitching and TV segments that we have, so that's an added benefit for participating in this. And then also the media will be searching these listings throughout the year, not just during the show time, because a couple of months after the show, I might get a call or a query from an editor looking for products, and we send them to Housewares Connect 365. Next is the special event product demonstration. If we don't know about your special events or the celebrity or the designer in your booth, we can't tell the news media. Believe it or not, who is at the show is the second most frequently asked question that I get after what's new in terms of products. So the listings go in your Housewares Connect 365 listing. You can use the marketing kit page. If you're an PR agency and you don't have the company ID and seniority number to enter through the Housewares Connect listing, just do it in the marketing kit, and it will you'll be able to enter the information for your clients. And then again, the listings are free. Now I want to talk about a couple of services during the show that can help you. First is the Show News Center and press kit distribution. The News Center is the headquarters for the media at the show. It's where they come to get their exhibitor information, show information, plan their show, and get their badge. This year we are not pre-mailing the badges, so all media have to come to the News Center to pick up their badges this year. And if they didn't pre-register for the show, they'll have to register there as well. This service is free. You can send us your press kits, and we'll display them for the media to take. This is what the press room wall looks like. We put the kits up alphabetical by company. So it's very important that you put your company name on the cover, and then also maybe a product photo, because as with your HC365 listing, we're a visual society, and if you have something, a picture on there that might generate more attention by the media, they may be more likely to look at your kit, take it down, and then pack it up and take it back to your office. Include a press release about your new products, your catalog sheets, your photos, or a link to your website where the media can download your information. In the marketing kit on the website, there is a tip sheet called How to Put Together a Press Kit. If you've never done a press kit before, for some of, if you're a new or a very small company, and we kind of give you some details about what to include and how to do it. You can do either a paper kit in a folder. You can see we can do a CD. You see a CD there. And also more companies are doing USB or thumb drives, and we will also put those out. We have smaller containers for those. And then after the show, we'll ship the press kits back to the editor's offices free of charge. We give them a box, and they can pack up the kits, and then after the show closes on Wednesday, that's what we do. We get those boxes ready for shipping out via UPS, so they have your information all year round. And that is complimentary, part of your booth space fee. Now you say, Deb, I want to do a press kit, but I don't know how to write a press release. I don't have an agency. I don't have an in-house person. Well, we're offering a service called the Virtual Press Release Writer that will do it for you. And it just takes a few easy steps online. There's a form that you answer some questions about your product and about your company, and then it merges all of that information into a press release, and you will receive in about 48 hours after you enter the information, you'll get a Word document that you own, and you can do whatever you like with it. You can print it on your letterhead. You can print it on your or post it on your website. You can send it to editors, email it to editors as a press release. The cost is $55 per release, or we're just like the exhibitors. We have a show special. You can buy 3, and your fourth release is free. This is provided by a third-party vendor who is a very she's a very good writer. I've known her for several years, and she does a great job with the releases. I think you'd be very happy if you did this. So I encourage you to take advantage of this, because even if you have 1 or 2 press releases in an envelope or a folder in the press room, you will be exposed to the news media versus not having anything at all.
Hey, Deb?
Yes.
What's the deadline for the press kits?
The press kits, I'd like them at the News Center on the Thursday before the show. So I believe that's February 28th, and on the News Center page in the marketing kit online, we give you the address for shipping them. I mean, you can, if you say I'm not going to have it done until I get to the show, you can bring it to me. You can bring it on Friday. We're there all week setting up the News Center, so you can even drop them off if you come on site. I just encourage you to have them to me before Saturday, because we'd like to have as many kits out as possible for when the media comes Saturday morning for the show.
Okay. Let's see. Is it possible to see what the press kit looks like? I believe that means the press kit that they have done for them.
Are you talking the press releases? I mean, you will get the press release, and then you can put together your press kit. If you're talking about coming to the News Center and seeing where we put the press kits out, I'd love to have you come and show you around the News Center and how we help the media and the services we offer them. So please stop by either during move-in or during the show, and we're happy to show you where we put your press kits.
Debbie also mentioned.
Would you suggest?
Say again.
We have to 75 to 100. And that is, you can always come by during the show and see how we're doing on press kits. If you need to bring more, that's fine. But 75 to 100 is usually pretty good.
You'll also want some for your booth, so don't take that as your top limit.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Now, I want to talk for a moment about the media and registration. Media have a blue badge. You know that the buyers have a green badge, exhibitors have red, media have blue badges. And we break the media down into 2 different types. There's the news media, which is your print, it's your traditional media, your print and broadcast, magazine and newspaper editors. TV and radio producers. And then we have the internet media, which is bloggers and internet-based publications. We try to vet these people, especially when it comes to the internet media, as best as possible to make sure that they're there for editorial purposes. But sometimes people will lie or misrepresent themselves. To me, a couple of years ago, I had a gentleman who registered as media before the show. He said he did a TV program and he wanted to put the exhibitor's information in. He would do videos. And I asked him, he said it was free. Well, then I find out later that he's marketing to the exhibitors and you would had to pay for these videos to be in his program. That is not news media. If publicity is free in our minds, if somebody asks you to pay for publicity, that's advertising or marketing, and that's not news media. Those people should be trade guests. So if someone comes into your booth with a blue media badge and they try to sell you advertising or in their publication or on their program, they're not media, but they're trade guests. If you can tell me during the show and I see them, I'll try and remove their media badge and give them a trade guest badge, or let me know after the show, and we will make sure that they are not allowed news media credentials for the following year. And then the same is true for the media registration list. When you download that after it's posted in April, and you see a name on there of an editor who came to your booth during the show and they tried to sell you something, please let me know and we will ban them for next year as news media. Some of you work with PR agencies, some of you don't. If you don't have an in-house person and you'd like to work with an agency, please contact me. I have a list of agencies that I've worked with over the years that have housewares clients, and I'm happy to share that with you and point you in a little direction. They go all the way from the small entrepreneurs to some of the large companies, and I'm sure there might be someone there who can meet your needs. Then after the show, the 2013 media list will be posted. We encourage you to use this to follow up with the media who attended and to use this as the list for your year-round pitching. And then also, please update your Housewares Connect 365 listing throughout the year. Because as I said, when media contact me in June and July, I send them to 365 to look for new products.
Similarly with buyers, we send them reminders to go to Housewares Connect 365 throughout the year. So it is a year-round tool for you, and we encourage you to keep it up to date. That concludes, at long last, our what we thought was going to be brief remarks. Any other questions that anybody has?
None right now.
Okay. Again, on the screen are our contact information. We're happy to help you in any way with any of your marketing issues at the show. We think we've given you a number of tools that can make you very successful. If you think we've left something out, let us know. We'd be happy to consider it. If you have buyers that you don't think are coming to the show that we should be inviting, let me know. I'll be happy to make sure they get a personal invitation. Same with news media. Happy to do that. Anything you think that we can do to make the show more productive for you, we are poised to do that for you.
Perry, remind everyone where they can find this recording.
The recording will be on housewares.org, and we will send you an email giving you the exact address at the conclusion of when it's posted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions before we sign off?
None.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.